Hello, water signs. Welcome to Cancer season. Cancer, of course, is a water sign. It is the cardinal water sign, the water sign that begins the flow, that initiates the water element. And so this is a powerful season for all water signs. Over the course of this season, as we shift from Gemini into Cancer energy, you all are going through a shift from a more internal, reflective, maybe even a little bit of a withdrawn or private space into a more external, outgoing, and active space. There's a feeling here that you are moving from contemplation and process into action and expression. This is a season to definitely consider aspects of your personality and how they are changing. There may be elements of your personal style or aesthetic that you are wanting to give a little bit of a glow up to. Your expressiveness, your creative projects are definitely asking for some attention and ready to be reinvigorated. Your personal path and feelings of purposefulness in life, what you feel guided and compelled by, are also areas of your life that are resonating with new energy. Over the course of Cancer season, I think a lot of you are feeling yourselves really differently and manifesting differences that are very significant, especially in your relational fields. There's an increasing emphasis over the course of Cancer season on your work, on aspects of your life that have to do with tangible material outcomes, your day-to-day, your relationship to resources, how you're putting yourself out into the world, your vocation, your careers, your legacies, and your lineages. Over the course of the next couple months until the end of Virgo season, so that takes us into September, there is amplifying and increasing energy for you to be moving out, expressing, manifesting, and engaging in more active ways in the world and in your life. Over the course of Cancer season, I would say that this is a really powerful time for creative reworking and reimagining, for self-empowerment, and for leadership and collaboration. But these areas of focus also really require you to continue to do the inner work that you have been doing, and that water signs are actually really good at doing and tend to lead a lot of those of us maybe who are not so fluidly endowed on the path. Over the course of this month, I definitely want to invite you to participate with us at Embodied Astrology, where a lot of the work that we do has to do with the intersections between the internal and the external, between astrology as a creative symbolic language and our lives as we act, react, respond, enact, embody, and relate. Throughout the season, we have a lot going on, and what we offer is multitudinous and can extend in a lot of different directions. Our workshops and classes are open to all levels of ability with astrology, and also with embodiment and somatic practice. This is a season that begins and ends with full moons, so it's fitting for Cancer season as a sign that's ruled by the moon that we would have two full moons this season. We get the first one almost on the first day of Cancer season on June 21st, and the second full moon on the last day of Cancer season on July 21st. Around the full moon every month, our facilitator, Janata Petrus, offers her Artistic Alchemy full moon meditation series. These are spaces for you to connect and commune with creative souls and your creative soul. Definitely, these are spaces that can help you work on creative projects. So if you are trying to figure out the next steps in some kind of offering that is underway in your life, whether that is an artistic offering, an intellectual offering, a life offering, it doesn't actually matter. Your life is creative. You are a creative being. You are alive inside of creation. And creative energy is playful energy, it's inspirational energy, and it's energy that keeps us coming back to our authenticity and vitality. Janata is an expert in guiding us back again and again to the wellspring of creative inspiration. In the artistic alchemy spaces, she is working with the dynamic polarity and oppositional energy of the sun and the moon every season. And from that place, she's providing prompts for creative reflection and also process inside the group. There are amazing conversations that take place in those spaces that have to do with how do we live and sustain creative lives? How do we commit to the small acts of creativity that keep the larger landscapes of our lives vibrating with vitality? These are also spaces that are really supportive for just thinking about creativity as a survival tactic and as something that is definitely needed for thriving through times of breakdown, unpredictability, and chaos. And as we are all alive in 2024, this is certainly a period of time when I think a lot of us benefit from communal spaces where we can be real about the challenges that we're facing, the struggles living through multiple genocides, through ecological collapse, through environmental and economic precarity. And to be able to discuss all of that with people who are also interested in making art through it all, investing in beauty as actually a tactic and strategy for survival. Janata is an amazing facilitator. She is an author and a playwright and an abolitionist organizer. She works with the erotics of abolition, and her spaces are so encouraging, so vibrant, and so vital. And definitely for you watery folks, I think you might really love her spaces. Janata is a Cancer sun, so her birthday is coming up this season, and I know it would make her really happy to see you at Artistic Alchemy. We also have the new cohort with Sherry Taylor beginning on June 29th. Over the course of 2024, Sherry is offering devotional cohorts of exploration in planetary allyship. And Sherry's work is really deep, really profound, and works on multiple layers. Sherry is a death doula, a clinical psychologist, a grief worker, and an amazing astrologer and researcher of mythology and archetype. Over the last couple of years at Embodied Astrology, Sherry has been a leader in our space in kind of retelling certain mythologies, particularly reworking the myth of Saturn. For any of you who might be familiar with astrological symbolism, you're certainly familiar with the archetype of Saturn as a grumpy old man, as a kind of paternalistic, patriarchal father of time, as an archetypal energy that may be associated with restriction, with confinement, with obstruction and challenge. Certainly those meanings can be appropriate and definitely resonate at times with Saturn's influences. However, Saturn's myths actually are rooted in a more gender expansive and feminine mythology and archetype. And this is the archetype of the wise grandmothers or the bone mothers or the creatrix of time. When we're working with time, we are definitely working with challenge. We're working with limitation. We're working with the reality of being alive in a human body. And that reality is often a reality of struggle. In Sherry spaces, we are also really supported to get through these times. These are spaces that are meant to be containers for grief, for fear, for limitation, and for working with the unknown. You will be supported to develop your own relationship with planetary energy. And for anyone who really wants to work with astrology, I'm going to say that tuning in with a horoscope or reading about astrology can be helpful for sure, but cultivating your own relationships with planetary energy is really unparalleled when it comes to efficacy and the empowerment that astrology can give. So when you sign up for one of Sherry's devotional cycles, you will have access to 3 different convenings and meetings. In this particular cohort, she's beginning with an exploration of the sacred geometry of aspects. And I think for anyone who has ventured down their path in astrology to any length, this is really important and invaluable work to understand how aspect patterns work in our bodies and our felt sense. Really gives a kind of agency in working with astrology that you definitely need if you want to work intuitively with it as a guide. And again, over the course of these 3 sessions, Sherry will be encouraging us to reflect and rest and restore with the femme phases of Saturn. Finally, our facilitator Gabs 404 has been working over the course of the last few months and through the duration of this year with a really important transit for all water signs. And this is the transit of Neptune at the very last degree of Pisces. If you tune in with my overview for Cancer season, you're going to find that I talk a lot about Neptune in the last degree of Pisces. It's a very important influence throughout 2024 and definitely in Cancer season. This influence is part of how we might describe the quality of the current time or this era, this moment of evolution on Earth and in our collective body, which is a moment of dissolving, empires falling, facades cracking, environments rapidly shifting and changing, a high degree of unpredictability, and maybe a feeling of life as a very dreamlike space and a potentially really confusing space. Neptune in Pisces is definitely a symbol of unreality and the way that reality can be constructed through fantasy and through story. Gabs is really invested in working with this symbolism in a very immediate, empowering, and creative way in the space that they hold, which is called the Nebula Lab. In the Nebula Lab, you're going to learn about astrology through the lens of photography and visual storytelling. Gabs is making links between Neptune's influence, particularly Neptune in the sign Pisces, and the development of photography and visual manipulation, storytelling, world making, and reality construction through image. In the Nebula Lab, you will not only learn about the current transit of Neptune and Pisces and previous transits of Neptune and Pisces. This is a generational cycle. You'll also learn about Neptune's placement in your birth chart and how to work with Neptune in its transit now through your own creative process and projects. This will be a time and space for you to explore photography, editing, and image making, and also world making and world building through your imagination. Beginning last month in Gemini season and extending over the course of the next year, Ramon Parrish and I are hosting a research space with Embodied Astrology. This space is open to all, and we would love for you to come and join us. This is a participatory research space where we are investing in astrology as a technology for strategy and movement building. We're looking at the past in order to prepare for the future. Over the ages, so many people have used astrology for all kinds of strategy, including dominion and power and war. We're interested in using astrology for creative activism and creating a world where human beings are thriving in reciprocity and mutuality with the earth and with other life forms. Over the course of this next year, we are working in an emergent, collaborative, creative way where all of us are going to be investigating how astrology might support us in the upcoming work of the next 25 years and potentially even beyond. So if you are a student of astrology and you're interested in learning more about how this technology can aid and assist in strategy, we would love to work with you. You can find more information about all of Embodied Astrology's offerings at embodiedastrology.com. I also want to let you know that Ramon and I, along with Ramon's partner, Michelle Gabrieloff-Parrish, will be co-facilitating an on-land retreat in October in Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains at the Eco Dharma Center. And for those of you who are eager to get offline and in person, we would love to see you there. Again, find more information at embodiedastrology.com.